Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Tyler Mathison, who won his last fight on LFA 168. Hello, Tyler. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Tyler, you in your last fight defeated, I think, that overall a very good fighter, also a quite big prospect. It was a Griffin period. You finished him in the second round. So if you can tell me, what do you think about this performance, and what do you think about what should be next for you?
Performance wise, I think I knew he was pretty good. I knew he was a really good wrestler. So game plan in my head was to, I was gonna wear him down and try to finish him in the second. I didn't think I'd be able to get taken down that many times. I haven't been taken down in a fight before, so he had much better wrestling than I thought. But yeah, just in my head, try to stay calm and then just kind of wait him out a little bit, let him burn himself down, and then try to take over. So yeah, performance I thought was pretty good. As far as what's next, it sounds like I'm going to try to hop on this card here in December for LFA here in Vegas. So we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens with that. But yeah, they offered me just last night. I got a couple potential opponents, so see who accepts it or whatnot. But yeah,
So I think that it will be great that you fought in September, then it's another fight December, because in your career there were some breaks between the fights.
yeah, yeah. I've had quite a few different injuries, so not ideal career situation, but take advantage of it now while I'm healthy and stay active.
And also about your last fight, because in the first round, your opponent had you in a arm triangle position. And did you feel any fear that it can be like that the submission can be locked?
No, it was like across my chin, so I knew he was too high. But I could tell he had a squeeze though, So if he was in the right spot, it would have been tough. But no, he's just a hair too high, and so I just stayed calm, got to my hip, got out of position, and worked back to my feet.
And in your career, you fought as the featherweight, as the lightweight, and also you had a welterweight bouts as the pro. So what is the best weight class for you?
45. I'm just too short for a feather or for a lightweights and welterweights. Even at featherweight, some of these guys are 6 foot tall. So but yeah, and I made 35 as an amateur a few times. And that's just not fun. It killed myself a little bit, but yeah, 45 is my weight class. It's pretty easy. I walk around about 170. And then in camp I'm down to 65 to 60, and then a little bit closer, obviously for fight week.
But you also had a great performances in lightweight division, because I believe that Eddie Torres fight was as in the lightweight.
Yeah, I think I can beat a lot of those guys at lightweight, but I think the difference is that I have to use my grappling, because that's how you can beat height, as you start grappling and wrestling. But at featherweight, I can use, a little bit more showcase my boxing and so forth, where it's tough to get some of that off when they're able to keep it distance, and guys are 5, 6 inches taller and have good movement and good distance control. It makes it tough where then I just have to start wrestling and closing that distance a lot harder, taking more risk. Where 45, I don't really have to take the same risk because the distance isn't as far. So it's just more fun too, because I get a box a little bit and so forth.
And the crazy part is that you right now you are on the free fight winning streak, and all of these fights were in the different weight classes, because it was welterweight, lightweight, and then the featherweight.
Yeah, yeah. No, me and my manager kind of talked about it a little bit too. I don't need to take the risks anymore. I think as far as like fighting up weight classes, because I think I can get fights at 45 and it's not too big of an issue. But yeah, sometimes, you know, I'm from Minnesota originally and kind of fighting on that local scene out there. I was just kind of taking whatever I could get, and so there was just, hey, if this opportunity opened up, then I'll take it. And I fought twice at 170, and then the first time was on like 24 hours notice, so it's like it's just not not the best career moves, So I got to be a little bit smarter and see if I can work my way into a big organization.
But for now, I think that the biggest one of your career. So I think that you are on this good like tendency, like your level of opposition is going up, and your like performance is also going up.
Yeah, no, I think I mean, the two guys that they were talking about from our next one was another undefeated guy, and the other guy was like, I think he was like 7-1. He'd fought on the Contenders and won on the Contender Series. So I think either one, if I could put on a dominant performance against either of those two guys, which in my weight class, I'm not scared of anybody. I think I can take on pretty much anybody. So put a good performance on, finish one of those guys, then I just don't see how one of these big organizations, how much more can I do? Because it would be what, three straight undefeated guys. So yeah, just if I keep rolling, somebody will call.
And you had this long break from 2019 to end of the 2022. And was it only because of injuries, or did any additional reason also was on the place in the place?
No, I've had six ACL surgeries. So and when that happened, I had one ACL surgery, and then I tried to come back a year later, and it blew out again, like immediately. So then I ended up having these two separate surgeries. I went to this kind of well-known doctor. He won like surgeon of the year for this specific surgery and whatnot. So it took three. It was a 3-year process where yeah, so not fun, but yeah, knees way better now. Hopefully it holds up at this point. I only got 10 years left of my MMA career, so that's all they got to last. And then after that, whatever. Kind of
Uh,
mortal.
and and in that moment, did you think that it can be all over, that you have to end your career, and because of the injuries you can't fight anymore?
No, I knew I was going to come back and fight. I knew it definitely hurt my career because obviously, your prime is so short, your window is so small. But I don't necessarily do the sport for the, like some people talk about, they want to make money in the sport and so forth. So I don't like thinking about the sport in the same way. I just love fighting. So and I consider myself, I think I'm one of the best out there. So if I can I just got to string along so I can prove it, And so why I'm doing sports to prove I'm the best, and then because I fucking enjoy it. It's so much fun. There's nothing better than getting in the cage and going mano a mano with somebody and slugging it out or wrestling or whatever it is. That's the just the control and seeing somebody's will break. That's the best part of the sport.
And I think that you actually showed your spirit because of these injuries, because many people would like decided to end their career and just go do something else, because it's like it can be like dangerous, and it can be like uh, let's say disappointing a little bit. But you decided to fight back, and right now you are on this good course to be in one of these bigger organizations.
Yeah, I mean nobody said I was smart, so I just keep going forward and see what happens. uh,
And about your beginnings in the sport, because you are in MMA, in world of MMA for actually many years. When did your journey with MMA start?
well, I started training when I was in high school. And I wrestled in high school and then I wrestled in college too. But yeah, so I had my first fight right out of high school in like 2010, and then I would wrestle, in college, the college year or whatever, and then I would train MMA after the season was over. And the college coach wasn't super pumped about me fighting or whatnot, so I didn't really fight too much until I think I just can't remember if I had a couple more when I was in college or not. But and then as soon as college, was over, then I just started getting as many fights as I could and so forth, trying to stay active. But yeah, no, I've been doing. I think I first started training. It was probably like 2008, something like that. And I'm from Omaha, Nebraska originally. That's where I went to high school. So then, I trained at, oh shoot, what's it called? Premier Combat, which is like Ryan Jensen's gym. He was in the UFC. There's a bunch of guys, Houston Alexander and Derek Minner and a bunch of uh, studs. Ellenberger was out of there. Anthony Smith, who right now is obviously in the UFC, used to be from there. But yeah, that's where I started. And then I went to Minnesota for college, and then I started with Brock Larson, and that's where I got my brown belt in jiu-jitsu from, is from him. And he's the man. He had a long career, in MMA, and he was ranked seventh in the world at one point, so he's a stud. But yeah, and then I recently moved out here to Vegas to keep keep moving on.
Yes, and about Brock Larson, he was a legend. He fought for so many organizations, UFC, WEC, one. So I'm not sure how many fights he had, but it was a lot for many years.
Yeah, I think it was damn near like 50 fights or something like that. Yeah, and he makes you feel like you have more in the tank, that's for sure. When you watch him go into a fight with a blown out shoulder or whatever it is, can't use one of his arms fighting for a world title. He makes you rethink everything about yourself. You're like, well, if this guy can fucking do it, then I better be able to do it. But no, he's the man. He is a great human being.
And right now, what is your main gym?
Xtreme Couture. Yep.
So,
So
so, so I think that's right now it's like with ATT probably the biggest camps
yeah, it's
in
a
the
big
world.
camp, and there's tons of guys in here. Obviously, tons of super well known fighters and whatnot. And it is nice because I'm getting, it just helps the confidence when I'm going with some of these guys that are ranked, top in the world, and I'm holding my own and doing well. Yeah, it definitely makes you feel good and makes you feel like you're right there. So to me now, it's just a matter of time. I just until I get to the next level, it's just I just got to keep working, and at some point it'll happen. It's just it may take another 6 months to a year.
And probably with this kind of big gym, you can learn probably from any sparring partner that you have, and also that the sparring partners can learn from you because it's probably so high level. So it's like a super big learning experience.
Oh, big time. Yeah, big time. I think the difference from a small gym and then a gym like this is, like, in a small gym you have a lot more one-on-one coaching. You do here as well, but it's a different aspect because it's just I don't know, a different process, I guess. But the one-on-one aspect of your coaches and is a little bit more intensive and involved in a small gym. And a big gym, the benefit is you have so many different bodies, so many different styles, and we just pick each other's brains apart most of the time. And I mean, I've learned an immense amount, and I'm not doing, at this point in my career, I'm not going to be changing how I'm fighting. I'm going to fight fairly similar, but it's just, changing, if there's small mistakes that I'm making, making those mistakes less, and just making what I am doing already better, and, these having a lot of partners, a lot of different types of styles and stuff, that definitely, helped me pick up on, some of the things. Hey, this is where I'm messing up, this is, and so forth. And then picking their brains, and everybody's pretty nice here, and they help, super helpful. And so everybody's always trying to help everybody. So everybody here wants to be successful, and they want everybody here to be successful.
Do you have a like a fighter that you like that training the most, like sparring and overall training?
Oh man, there's so many guys. I couldn't, that I wouldn't be able to give you just like one or two names, but
It could probably
like
be
Josh
whole.
August. Yeah, I mean, Josh Augustine just fought here last weekend. He's one of my main sparring partners. Yeah, there are so many guys. Mads, when he's finished up camp here, we do I don't know, five or 6 rounds a week with him sparring. I mean, just there's such high level guys here that you're going with so many different bodies. I mean, I'm going with a different guy of our own that's a stud. And sometimes, yeah, it's just there's a lot to learn. A lot of different guys here.
And you said that you want to fight in December, that this fight will probably happen. And in 2024, how many fights would you like to have?
I would like to have 3 to 4. Five, I could do five, and I wouldn't mind doing five. Thing about 5 fights is just a weight cut. Doing the weight cut that many times that short together gets not fun. But yeah, 4 fights I think is pretty optimal. It's just tough to get 4 fights in a year a lot of times. Um, so I mean, before this last fight, I was trying for 5, 6 months to get something going. It's just sometimes it's tough to get fights, but yeah, if I could fight 4 times, that would be I think ideal.
And I think that if you will win like 3 or 4 fights, you should be in the UFC, and with like let's say two wins, you can be in the Contender Series, because I think that you are perfect guy for this, because you have very good skills, good wins on your record. So with additional two, it would be a perfect spot for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think especially if this undefeated guy signs a contract, I think and I smoke him. I just don't think what else can I do? As far as proving myself, I could add a few more wins on the resume just to make it look good or whatnot. But I think at that point, you know, I I don't know. I think I'm there. Maybe it is talking to LFA and say, hey, whoever's the title holder at the time. I don't even know who has the title right now, but seeing if I can get that fight or whatnot too might be an option as well.
Yes, and you like showed that you can fight against undefeated prospects like Eddie Torres. He was 4-0, and like looking at your records, fans can say that, oh, he will win because he's undefeated, and you have these 2 losses, and this fight like wasn't really close.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I can beat a lot of guys. I think the 2 losses I have, they were pretty close. They're one was a split decision, and both were on short notice. And I think that's another thing is me not taking short notice fights because I need just my style of fighting. I'm a big cardio guy, try to wear guys down and so forth. So I need the cardio, and so I just can't take those short notice fights. But yeah, no, I think I'd like to get those back at some point. Both those guys, I'd bump up a weight again to get that one back. But no, I think I'm super close. I think I just gotta keep grinding away and put together a few more wins, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, and I think that it's important to say that these 2 losses were against really good fighters, and like you said, it was a close fight. So it's not that you were like knocked out or dominated. It was close fight against very very good prospects also.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, those watching those back is a little frustrating sometimes, but yeah, no, those they're good kids and whatnot, but I know they're very close fights. I'd love to see the punch counts on those fights and see, but no, they're good.
And do you have a fighter in the UFC that you would like to fight? Let's say in the dream fight scenario.
Ooh, a dream fight scenario. Huh. Man, I mean, obviously everybody wants to fight Volk because he's got the title, right? But I mean, besides him, shoot, what's the guy from Alpha Male? I really like him. He's just a freak athlete. He's a 45er. Oh shoot, knew who I'm talking about. He's a big time wrestler, but just big hands.
Josh Emmett?
Josh Emmett. Yeah, I think that would be fun. I think just because he throws bombs, really good wrestling. He's not scared of anything. He's super athletic. I think that'd be a fun war. I mean, you've seen him. He's tough as nails, and yeah, I'd love to scrap with a guy like that. That'd be fun.
Yes, he probably has the biggest power in the featherweight division.
Yeah, yeah. If he touches you, it hurts, I think. But no, I think that'd be a fun one. I think another. God, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fights out there that'd be entertaining. There's a lot of good guys. I mean, you look at the UFC roster. There's guys in the UFC that are, some of these guys that come off the contenders and stuff maybe aren't like super, they don't necessarily last and everything. But then some of these guys in the contenders, they're freaks too. So yeah, it's interesting. There's a guy in my gym, Mota. I don't know if you know who Mota is. He fights here this weekend or next weekend. He came from the contenders. He's a 55er, but he is a monster, and he's a no-namer. So there's guys in UFC that are absolute no-namers that are at savages. So I'm sure if I can make it in, there's gonna be some fun matchups.
Yes, probably the many fighters from the Contender Series, let's say right now in like 4 or 5 years will be champions like Jamal Hill
Yeah.
or Sean O'Malley.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Did you watch the Angel Pacheco fight on the contenders?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he's one of my buddies from back home or whatnot, and that was an absolute war. He that was a close one. I mean, if he wouldn't have gotten dropped, I think it would have changed the fight. And he got dropped in the first like 10 seconds of the fight. But yeah, I'd love to see those two run it back in the UFC. I think that'd be a fun one.
But if I'm correct, he also like received a contract, right?
Yeah, he got in. Yeah, they had like the highest punch count in UFC history. It was like, or in contenders history. It was, I think it was like 210 and 205 landed punches in 3 round fight. It was wild. A little bit of a bloodbath.
Yes, I think that right now Contender Series is like the best option probably to go to the UFC, and like you said, the level of fighters is like unbelievable. They can't they really can be like be in the UFC even without a win on Contender Series. Many of these fighters.
Yeah, I don't know how many guys they sign outside of the contenders anymore. I feel like most of the guys they sign are just from the contenders. I don't know when the last time they signed somebody that wasn't on contenders, unless it was maybe short notice or something. But even those situations where they have these short notice guys that they need, it's usually somebody that fought on the contenders that they're pulling from. So right now, I think, yeah, if you're gonna get in the UFC, you got to win and make a show on the contenders to get in.
And do you overall like to watch UFC fights?
What's that?
Do you like watch UFC fights?
Yeah, I watch all the time. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
So
Yeah.
who is your favorite fighter to watch?
Ooh, of all time, I would say it's like Chad Mendes. Right now, oh man, right now, I don't know who would be like my favorite to watch right now. I mean, cause a lot of it right now is like I'm picking, certain things that guys do, and that's why I'm watching them. Like, we're talking about Volk. Some his because I feel like he very similar body build as me, and gas tank, and it just hit how he thinks. I think is very similar to me. So like, obviously I like watching Volk. Um, man, I don't, as far as my favorite right now, I don't know. I'm not sure. Who's yours?
Max Holloway.
Holloway? Yeah, he's the
Yes,
man.
yes. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, but I agree that there are so many good guys that you can like list it like 20 or 30.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Do you watch Bare Knuckle as well?
Some fights.
Okay. This bare knuckle card here, I think it's tonight actually, or maybe tomorrow, with Eddie Alvarez
Game Bread.
versus Perry. Or
Uh,
no,
no,
the
no,
BKFC.
BKFC, right?
Yeah, yeah. But Eddie Alvarez versus Perry, I'm excited for that one. I think that'd be a war. Those two are, well, I don't, maybe not Alvarez, but Perry is meant for bare knuckle.
Yes, he is like the main face, and he already had like 3 wins, 3 big wins. So I think that it's like just start for him.
Yeah, I mean, I just think his body, his style of fighting, he's meant to be in the squared circle or whatever they call it. But yeah, no, that would be a fun one to watch this weekend.
Yes, and the brutal one, definitely.
Yeah, they're gonna be cut up.
Yes. And you are in the sport for many years because you had like your first amateur fights in 2010, so it's like 13 years. And do you have a like advice for young fighters what to do to be successful in MMA?
Just think it's just work. Are you willing? Just like in anything in life, if you want to be successful in anything, you got to be willing to outwork everybody and be okay being in a pretty shitty situation for a long time before it actually works. You're not going to become, it's rare the guys get signed when they've only been training for 3 or 4 years. You got to put in a ton of work and you got to get lucky, and then you got to be ready to go at all times, because in this sport, you got to be able to take short notice fights. It's different than, like, if you're in the NFL or trying to make it to the NFL. You're preparing for a season where, in MMA, you got to, stay semi in shape all the time. So it's just grind and get lucky. That's all it is.
Yeah, so there are no like short
No
shortcuts.
shortcuts.
Yes.
Not in this sport. No, I don't. I think to make it in anything in life and be like super successful, I think it's literally the two things. You got to have a lot of luck, and you got to be, working your tail off, because you can't you can't get lucky without the work, and you're not going to make it anywhere without a little bit of luck. You got to get the call from somebody, and there's got to be a situation where you fit that situation. But anyways, yeah.
And how do you deal with this stress before your fights, both in the training camp and like few hours before the fight?
Um, it changes. I think it's changed a lot through my career too. But I don't get super stressed out like I used to and worry too much in camp at all. I'm not really stressed at all. And then I think the only difference in camp is just like I'm upping everything. So I'm upping the amount of rounds I'm doing. I'm upping a little bit more intensity. My diet has to be on point. All that kind of stuff. But then as far as like the fight itself, I'm a little bit more excited than I am. I think a lot of guys handle it maybe in the wrong way, or they don't truly enjoy fighting, and so then they don't want to be there. In the back room, you can kind of tell the guys that are like getting excited to get ready and go put on a show versus the guys that are back there that are just nervous as it gets and everything. I don't think one way is better than the other. Everybody's just different, but yeah, I'm pretty excited back there. I'm happy. I trained and been doing this for so long, and I've had all these negative things like surgeries and everything that kept me away from it. So I also know that realistically I could get hurt and never be able to do this again. So I'm just excited to be able to do it. So yeah, I don't really get that same nervousness that I'm used to when I was like an amateur and whatnot.
I think that it's a good mindset that this fight can be like your last fight, and then like you have it, you have to give it all. So
Yep.
I think it's great.
Yeah, and every time I step in there, I think I do think about that a lot. So because I have had such bad luck as far as the surgery or the injuries go. But so I step in the cage, and I always think like this could be the last time I ever do this. So let's enjoy it, and take it all in, and look around and see how cool this is. Not many people even get this opportunity.
Yes, in like a big regional promotion like LFA or CFFC, so not many even good fighters can fight there.
Yeah, it's just like you're saying, gotta have a little bit of luck and whatnot, and yeah, so you gotta be happy when you're actually in the situation that you've been training for.
And outside of fighting, do you have any hobbies or passions?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I work a lot, and but me and I got kids and so forth, and wife, and we're big into like off roading and rock crawling and that kind of stuff. And that's our fun thing on the weekends that we do. Don't do it as much as I want to do it, but yeah, we'll do that. Once every 2 or 3 months, we'll go somewhere fun and go try to break the Jeep and do that whole thing.
Yes, there are photos on your Instagram.
Yeah. I think that's probably my only other real hobby besides fighting is doing that. And then, maybe when I'm done doing this all together, I'll do that a lot more. But yeah, no, it's just a fun way to get outside, and kids love it. So it's good. It's a good time. Have you ever done it?
No, no.
Well, if you ever come to America, I'll take
Okay. And
it.
I have a two last questions. It's also outside of fighting. Do you have a bucket list, and can you share one of the things from your bucket list?
Oh, bucket list. I would say, well, I think going back to my hobby, like we once a year we go to we try to go to like one of the like ideal off-road places every year that around the country. So it'd be like one of those, it's going to Windrock in Tennessee would be pretty fun, which most people have no idea what that is. But for jeeping, it's kind of one of the cool places to go. I know we're gonna do the Rubicon, which is right around here. We'll probably do that here pretty soon. We've been talking about that one. But it was just all my bucket list stuff has to do with that, I guess.
So it can be your career after MMA career.
Yeah, I don't know if it's much of a career doing that, but I have to have a few different jobs to support that career because it's a little expensive when you're breaking parts all the time.
And
uh,
one last question: if you can, if you have to like do a presentation, 30-minute presentation about any topic, but also outside of MMA, without preparation, what you can talk about for 30 minutes?
for 30 minutes,
Yes.
well, I do that pretty frequently for work, so I can definitely do presentations as far as that goes. But I mean, yeah, jeeping and wrestling, all the stuff I grew up doing. I could go on, and I don't shut up about that kind of stuff. And most people are trying to get me to shut up about it when I start talking about it. So
So you have these topics in your like back pocket.
yeah, oh yeah. Nobody wants me to start talking because then I don't stop. Uh,
Okay, Tyler. So many thanks for the conversation. I hope that the fight in December will happen. You will get another win, and in the next year we can see you in the UFC because probably is right now or in 2024 it would be a great place and perfect place for you.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.